Hello and welcome to jkkmobile.com. Today talking about SSDs, so-called solid state disks, and I'm trying to explain you why I like them and why I want to use them on mobile computers. But first we need to start with a normal hard drive. I have one IBM Travelstar over here, and I want to show you the main difference between the SSD and the normal hard drive. So let's adjust the cam a bit. Let's remove the housing from the hard drive. So as you can see, hard drive is a mechanical thing. There is a spinning disk and then the reader. So let's fire it up so you can see what's happening while it's on use. So I'm using the USB adapter so it's easier. So as you can immediately see, it's making noises, and as it reads the disk, the reader head needs to move all the time. So compared to SSD, here I have a SSD, no moving parts, just silicone, so quite a huge difference. And that noise, that's not nice. Let's kill it. I don't want to hear that anymore. And what about the noise? Let's throw that away. About the noise on the hard drives, of course some hard drives are quiet, some are not, but when they are starting to fail, they make noises like this. That's not nice. That's the one thing I hate on the hard drives, is the sound of the failing hard drive. This is actually data sent site, and they have recorded sounds of different hard drives when they are about to fail, so you know at least when to back up. So the main thing with me and hard drives is that I've broken many of them on my mobile use. So that's why I don't like it. That's why I like the SSDs. And now coming to an SSDs, I have to show you some early ones. This is a really early SSD, like maybe 4 years old, 512 megs. So that's nothing compared to today's SSDs. Like here I have a 64 gigabyte SSD, so totally different in size and speeds and so on. Also I have here a flash CF compact flash based SSD drive, so basically this is an adapter to use it on a laptop or UMPC or netbook, and then just a CF card. That's one way to use, but not maybe the best way. When I started to use SSDs on mobile computers, they were first flashes which didn't keep the memory, didn't keep the files if they run out of power. Of course today you don't have to worry about that. Solid state disks don't need power to keep the information there, so your data will be safe and hopefully fastly accessible. And that's the main thing here compared to hard drives. You need to access your drive fast, you need to do stuff fast, and that's when the SSD drives shine. And just to show you an example, I will now hibernate the EPC I have here, and as you can see, it's pretty fast to hibernate if it has a good SSD inside it. And hibernation is something you really will start to love when the speeds gets better. So let me show you now how fast it will start. So let's start the EPC, and now as it was hibernated, it wasn't using any power And now we are back where we started, and if I had any applications open, they would be open now. So hibernation is really nice, but only when you have good speed on your drive, and SSD can bring that to you quite easily. Now, when I'm talking about speed on SSDs, I'm talking about the necessary speed to make the job done. So I'm not looking for the super high-end, super expensive SSDs here. I'm talking about SSDs that make the use easy, durable, and silent. The silence is one thing, durability is one thing, but the speed is something you need to understand, and especially the write speed. You need some write speed to actually use the drive, use the operating system, use the software. And what I have found, that the so-called pain level is somewhere between 20 to 25 megs of writes per second. If it's lower than 20, then it's not nice anymore. Then I couldn't use it as a really real mobile device to access my work stuff and for fun. Then I know that it's totally useful for some, but for me, I really need some speed of the writes. But when we come closer to 40 or even 50, then it starts really shine, and then the bottleneck of the many mobile computers start to be elsewhere. So in that sense, I would say the write speed from 25 to 50 to 60, we are closing the absolute performance level, and increasing that from 50 to 80 is not anymore that significant, as other hardware is not following up. So many times our mobile computers are not that powerful, we don't have that much memory. So for me, the main thing is to get the performance level I need, but with a nice speed versus price ratio. I don't want to spend the same amount of money to the drive itself than to the computer. So I'm mostly now talking to you about some SSDs and the uses of SSDs that are not that expensive but good on use. When talking about SSDs and thinking about what kind of SSD to buy, you should understand that there are many different types of SSDs. In the first categories from the SSD drives itself, there is the flash storage, and there's two kinds of storage used today. One is MLC and the second is SLC. The main difference has been that the MLC has less write cycles and it's slower. Well, today's MLCs are getting as fast as the SLCs, but they still has less write cycles. Write cycles means that you can only write a certain amount of times to the cell itself. So on MLCs we have flash that can be written only 10,000 times, where on the SLC it's 100,000 or even millions of times. Well, only 10,000. How much is 10,000? If you write your whole disk every day to get the 10,000 times, you would have to do it for, what's that, 30 years? So if you write your disk 10 times a day, 10 times every day, it's still 3 years. So of course you're not going to do that. You're not going to even write it once a week. So in that sense, 10,000 is okay. The second difference on the SSDs is the controller itself. So there are also many different kinds of controllers, and the controller typically defines the wear leveling and the actual speed of the drive, the internal speed of the drive to the bus. The wear leveling handles those write cycles, so it keeps the writing equal, so that you don't write too many times on the same spot. So it keeps your SSD healthy for longer time. So today's SSDs are really fail-safe on that. You would really need to have a you would need to really write on that really continuously and on purpose to make the exterminated before years. So in that sense, you are safe to pick whatever. Still, there are differences, of course, in the bus itself. There are IDE based, there are SATA based, and so on. The SATA is faster, many times faster, but when I'm talking about mobile computers, they typically have a IDE based flash with a zip connector, the small ribbon type connector, or like on EPCs and Dell Mini Notes, the Mini PCI Express connector, and those can bring a bit depending on your device, maximum amount of 60 to 80 megabytes per second. So going over the speed of the bus is not wise, as you can't really use the speed. So when you're checking the SSDs, keep in mind that the price versus speed ratio is the thing you're looking with the amount of storage you need. Don't go overboard if you want to keep your money. Buy something you know that is enough, but but don't buy too much, because you will be paying too much for that. If you really need much storage on the mobile device, then you should also check for other options like external hard drives or external SD or CF cards. There are plenty of those, and they are getting cheaper and cheaper all the time. Flash is really dropping right now, so what I'm talking today might be totally irrelevant in 6 months or so, and hopefully so, because we are already seeing nice prices for SD. Right now on the market there are plenty to choose, but what they're missing is really nicely priced MLCs on form factors of 1.8, and of course speedier options for netbooks. But I will be talking more about those tomorrow and on the Thursday, as I have some new drives here to test, but I will show them later, not on this video. I have been testing some. I've been really happy. The price versus speed ratio is getting better and better all the time, and that's the best thing for mobile computing. I would say that currently many of the netbooks they are moving away from SSD because users has not been liking the small storage base, but the problem has mainly been on the design side, not the actual SSD. Like ASUS has been using only 4 gigabytes on the main drive, and of course that's not good for normal end user. Trying to keep the operating system under 4 gigs is painful, but it's looking good for the future, as even ASUS has been upgrading the SSDs and making them even faster. So good news on that front. Also for the other UMPCs, the 1.8-inch drives, was missing some goodies from the market, but there are some good drives coming in near future. We are getting nice prices, we are getting good speeds, especially on the MLCs. The new MLC drives are really really fast with a nice pricing. But again, more about those in next few days. There are also some super high-end SSDs, and there have been many good articles about them, but I'm sorry I'm not covering them because they are really expensive, and they are typically 2.5-inch drives, so most mobile computers don't eat those drives. Of course, many netbooks do, but for me, a 10-inch big 1.5 kilo netbook is not that mobile anymore. When you use netbook on the tabletop, the risk of breaking your hard drive is not that serious, and if the hard drive is silent on use, then you may not need to have a SSD on it. Of course, if you need the access speed which SSD can provide, then it's another question. Or if you use your netbook or in hands on an airport, or you are traveling a lot, keeping it on while moving from places, then SSD is something you should think. But I will mostly concentrate on 1.8-inch stuff, and also these PCI Mini Express ones. Okay, so that was all for now. I will be posting some recaps for the current speeds on and offerings on the SSDs right now, and then reviewing at least 3 new products this week. So hopefully, actually one of the products is still on customs, so hopefully I can get them for the review this week. If not, then that will go to next week, but at least 2 this week. And I'm happy to say I'm pretty pleased with those products. I've been testing now one and should get one tomorrow, so it's looking good for the SSD week. I'm sorry this week started a bit slow, but it's looking better now. Okay, that was the basics of the SSD right now. I will be talking, hopefully also writing more about SSDs. Keep watching. Thank you, bye.